Those people whose job it was to see that the water was worth drinking and the air still fit to breathe are gone like the park rangers and all the scientists too. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Yeah, they fired 100,000, said you don't work here anymore. You cheered and said that's exactly what you voted for. 100,000 families and all the work they do. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Yeah, you thought they'd fire everyone but you. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Now the fridge is empty and the mortgage is due. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. They started charging at the border, saying prices through the roof. Sent all the migrants home, there's no one left to pick the fruit. Then they pardoned all the criminals, just like they said they'd do. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Then they shut down education, gave the diplomats the shaft, cut the funds for the disabled, fired all the chiefs of staff in case they needed to take over. You said that's all right too. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Yeah, you thought they'd fire everyone but you. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Now you're in need of some assistance, but they ended all that too. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Now maybe you're so religious, maybe you're a billionaire, maybe you just had to send some people back to who knows where. But that double thief and liar that you promised yourself to, you thought they'd fire everyone but you. Yeah, you thought they'd burn everyone but you. You thought they'd burn everyone but you. Now you're standing to the fire and you just don't know what to do. You thought they'd fire everyone but you. Hey, you thought they'd fire everyone but you. Yeah, you thought they'd fire everyone but you. All right, a little sensitive song to get going. Well, let me see if anybody's here. Let's see. I can't tell if anybody's on YouTube. I don't know. I thought I left the chat open, but it is a live chat, so apparently nobody's here. Well, Northern Barb is here. Hi there. Let's see if there's anybody on Facebook. Apparently not yet. This may be a private concert for you, Northern Barb. Well, Let me see what I want to play today. I got a couple new songs I want to play for people. And let's do one of those. This isn't that new. This actually goes back to the early 1980s. But I sang it recently, just goofing around with Mark Danley one night in his recording studio, and I really liked it and thought I should record this song sometime, so maybe I will. And in the meantime, we'll play it tonight. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so it gets more of the guitar. Let's see if that helps. 1,000,000 stars, pinpoints out of nowhere, red and blue and gold. 1,000,000 miles from somewhere, and a cool smoke blows all around your toes, and you disappear. Then you're sailing down the street, and all the lights are loud. You duck inside a doorway, stumble through the crowd, and you feel the music change. You won't ever be the same now that you've been here. Oh, it makes the man a minstrel boy. It makes the man a minstrel boy. The minute that you meet her, you're gonna love her forever. She takes your hand and leads you, floating on a river, and you're beating one heart, breathing one mind, wrapped in one skin. But by the light of day, she says that you can't see her. You let her walk away, and know that she has freed you until she's made a change. And one evening in the rain comes round to love you again. Oh, it makes the man a minstrel boy. Yeah, it makes the man a minstrel boy. Can they hear you when you call? Will they catch you if you fall? Are you someone real at all? Then you set out on the highway, looking for a living, trying to remember. The people are listening with an ear or two, though they may sleep through your finest lines. You walk along the shore, you sleep out in the dirt. You used to know the score, but now you're really searching till one night they're quiet, and you feel it all light up before your eyes. Yeah, it makes the man a minstrel boy. Oh, it makes the man a minstrel boy. Well, that was nice and nostalgic to do. Hope it was fine on your end. Northern Barb, how's the sound? Is it okay? Oh, we got somebody else here. Let's see, put my glasses on. Hello, Rebecca, and Old Soul, and Joni Toole. Hey there. Is the sound okay? Is it loud enough? Good enough? Working good? Sound is fine? Good. Okay. Good then. Let's just keep on going. Well, let's play this one, get me kind of psyched up here. This is a fun song. This is the opening tune on Rants and Romance. I wrote it to go with a novel I'm writing about my father, who was a teenager in a little town in Nova Scotia. And it's kind of a Nova Scotian type fiddle tune melody. And it's a song that his character in this book that I'm writing sings to himself as he's walking down the street in the moonlight, wondering if she's gonna appear at the window or not. Rising, all the world has stopped its sound. Listen, you can hear the silence. Come and take a look around. All the trees are still and peaceful. You can almost hear them breathe. Come tomorrow, I'll be going. Would you ever go with me? Are clear and bright. You can hear the band of angels. Come and see the ancient light. All the flowers are still and sleeping. You won't hear no birds and bees. Come tomorrow, I'll be going. Would you ever go with me? vision or a dream. Come tomorrow, I'll be going. Would you ever go with me? Come on in, the moon is rising. All the world has stopped its sound. Listen, you can hear the silence. You can take a look around. A little Scottish fiddle tune with some words there. Well, here's another tune from Rance and Romance. I don't know about you, but it seems to me, I used to think that in the folk revival days, you know, back when we were all kids and we're learning our music, that there were, 50 artists and they each sold, 50,000 records. And now there's like 50,000 artists and they each sell 50 records. Especially in the age of Spotify, you're lucky if you could sell 50 records. But as a result, everybody kind of has their own personal story to tell. I knew a girl, came from across the sea. She didn't plan to stay here, but she came back to live with me. Now my friends like her better than they like me, and I don't mind. I do too. Shows the quality of my good friends who know I'm a lucky man, you see. But enough about me. I knew a man, traveled the land, singing his songs anywhere he could lend a hand, or wherever he could take a stand. Well, things didn't work out like you planned. I've sung his songs, I loved the man. He was wise enough to understand. To fill his shoes was not my destiny. But enough about me. I knew a country great and strong, with a powerful sense of what's right and what's wrong. From whatever race or religion you came, your rights and your freedoms were all the same. And I believe that anything less would surely mean we'd gone and made a mess of this beautiful land of the free. But enough about me. But enough about me. I knew a child who loved to dance, break into a move anytime there was a chance. You could hear all the laughter all in the air, from here to the far side of the square. And growing up can seem so very hard, but don't forget that childhood love is still a part of you for all all to see. Ah, but enough about me. Well, those are two songs from Rants and Romance, my last CD. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I have been putting some of my music on USB flash drives, which are kind of cool. You can play them in your car, and you can get more on them than on a regular CD. This is a recent one. This has some tunes I recorded in the early 1980s in Chicago that have never been released anywhere else. A live concert from the Speakeasy on McDougal Street in the mid-1980s with my band from the White Buffalo recording, and some videos from Germany this past year in 2024, and an entire concert from Germany in 2016. That's very high quality audio. Very nice product, and these are $25 including shipping and postage from my website. Let's take a look at any comments we got over here. Hey there, Alan Bernstein. I heard by now my mom, Lynn Bernstein, passed away 2 years ago. Yes, I was well aware of it. I play the Hyde Park Library a couple times since then, and she always used to come. And when I didn't see her a couple years ago, I asked about her, and somebody told me what had happened. I'm very sorry for your loss, Alan. As she was a very, very nice lady. I liked a lot of her photographs also that she occasionally sent me of birds and flowers from her backyard. Per her request, one of the last songs she heard before she slipped away was Sailor's Prayer. She once told me that she hoped someone would sing it at her funeral service, and I believe Pat LaManna actually did that. Yes, very, very nice lady. I first met your mom when I played for I think it was called the Fiddler's Dream Coffee House, across the street from the Hyde Park Library at the church. It was a real nice concert series. I played it 2 or 3 times. At some point they stopped doing it, and I guess that's when I started playing the Hyde Park Library instead. Okay. Northern Bob says, I know I'll be there on October 17. I presume you mean? Hi there, everybody. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. A Nova Scotian here, you old soul. I got a feeling I know who you are. But I'm not sure I know from memory whose email address that is. We've got a couple people over on Facebook. Let's see what we got over here. At least I think we do. Let's see. Here we got some. Steve, hi Ray. Audio video is in sync and all sounds good. I'm using something called OBS instead of Zoom. I used to use Zoom, and I discovered that I was having a lot of sync problems, and OBS seems to be a much better situation. Okay. Hi Paul. Nice to see you from Shrewsbury, Vermont. Had a great time at your series. Minstrel Boy is an all-time favorite, says Mike Riley. Well, you're one of the few people who probably ever heard that song before. And there you have it. Okay. Hi, Mike. Hi, Marge. Hi, Martha. Okay. Don Shanley. My old friend from the Focus 2 Coffee House. I should play something from Boulevard in your honor, Donald. Let's see. What would that be, I wonder? Here's a song I used to play back at the Focus 2 Coffee House back in the day. I think this is one of the first songs I ever wrote, actually. This is a song You know, the funny thing about songwriting is that one of the very easiest things to write is a heartbreak song. You wouldn't think so. You'd think it would be painful, but it's really very easy to get into that headspace and write a song. And so when I was trying to figure out how to write songs, one of the first things I did was to write a heartbreak song, and this was it. Let's see if I can play it for you. Every time I look into another pair of eyes, it all comes back that I'm living lies, comparing her to you. I've been to LA and just got bored with empty heads and liquor stores and Jamaica Reds and lonely sunshine too. In every dream I see what could never be, and still I have you lying next to me. If I could be tonight all right with you. 10,000 miles I've roamed, and still I'm left with memories that tear the feelings right out of me and leave my feelings blue. I move alone and can't stand to be with anyone who gets close to me, and that makes me sad, that makes me missing you. In every dream I see what could never be, and still I have you lying next to me. If I could be tonight all right with you. In every dream I see what could never be, and still I have you lying next to me. If I could be tonight all right with you. With you, with you. Amazing how you can remember some things all these years later and then forget the grocery list that you wrote out 2 minutes ago. Well, I have another new song that I'd like to try to sing for you guys. And this is going to be a real experiment here. I'm going to have to wear my glasses for this one because it's words I need to read. But I may never sing this song again. So I hope you'll think that this is at least a little bit special. I was working on this song, and I didn't know how to frame it musically. I had no idea how to write music for it. And so I've been listening a lot to piano concertos lately, late at night, just putting them on in the background while I'm hanging around the house. And as a result, I used the opening theme from Rachmaninoff's Third Piano Concerto for the melody of this song. You may be wondering, can you get away with that? It's actually in the public domain. It was written apparently in 1914, and so it's apparently in the public domain. I actually looked it up. We were in Toronto, here's what we do. Every time the news mentioned you know who, we changed the channel until he was gone. Then one night we thought we heard a funny sound. There he was at our front door, saying, do you know what I'm here for? It's not permitted to watch TV unless the news you're watching is me. We jumped out the window, drove to the woods. We were hiding out with no media or goods. Our entertainment was the neighborhood bear. How could we know you know who could ever find us there? Don't you have a country to run, I inquired, a world to bully, some people to fire. He said to my name and face are everywhere. I can't rest, so I'm staying right here. We stole an Inuit canoe that winter night and paddled west 6 weeks till it was light. We were snoozing on the desert island sand when you know who pulled up in his catamaran. He said the Congress just went and made history. They passed a law to name the sky after me. He waved his hand like he was talking to a crowd and said, soon my face will be on every cloud. We jumped a cargo headed for Tangier, hired a plane to take us to the stratosphere. When it caught fire, we took one last deep breath and parachuted down to fake our own deaths. We were saved by a Haitian in a homemade boat who dropped us off in Miami just in time to vote. 2 months later, you know who was gone, though the smell of deportations lingered on. They got rid of all the losers that he'd hired back everybody that he'd ever fired, tore the masks off his immigration cops, took back all the money that he'd ripped off. But finally his wishes did come true, when for weeks his name and face were front page news. And though millions claimed they had no clue, they tried him for the girls that he'd abused. Well, now the Capitol's repainted and bare. You don't see you know who anywhere. Everybody's celebrating being free. It's even safe again to turn on the TV. That's pretty silly, but it's definitely fun to think. Well, let's see. I don't know if he's listening, but I was talking today. He said he would be listening, so I'm going to play this for him in case he is. I was talking to one of my best pals of my life, the person I consider the closest thing to a big brother that I've ever had, a guy named Mike Lieber, who lives out in Chicago. And I get to see him every once in a while. Last year, I got to see him twice. Or in the past year or so, we visited him in Chicago on our way west last summer, and then again I was in New Orleans to play, to hang out actually between a couple concerts, and we got to go down to the Quarter and see my good friend Chaz Leary playing old time jazz down there, and he mentioned that he loves this song and thinks that it's just as relevant today and will be more relevant in the future, even more than it is now. And you know, I never know about these things. I always think, maybe, maybe not. You never know. But because he asked me to, here's a song for you. He was born in a land of plenty, served his country overseas, worked hard to raise his family and have some security. He was looking forward to retirement, a little condo somewhere in the sun. Now they say we just can't afford him, 'cause all of the money is gone. He's the last American worker, and they've got him dead in their sights. They've taken away everything that he worked for. Somebody turn out the lights. He invested his savings on Wall Street. Now they're worth 2 cents on the dime. The boys who lost all his money got a bonus and a bailout at the same time. His house, it's worth less than his mortgage, and he can't make the payments anymore. And the bank is talking foreclosure since they shipped his job off to Bangalore. He's the last American worker, and they've got him dead in their sights. They're taking away everything that he worked for. Somebody turn out the lights. Well, he used to go and see a doctor before his waistline got thick. Now his insurance costs half his income, still won't cover him when he gets sick. And they passed a national health program for all of the people to share. Now they say we just can't afford it, and gave a tax cut to all the billionaires. He's the last American worker, and they've got him dead in their sights. They're taking away everything that he worked for. Somebody turn out the lights. Now the governor had a vision of the future. All our children in public schools, we're staring at the same on-screen teacher, broadcasting from Bombay or Fanjul. They all memorize the same test answers. They grow up a nation of fools and re-elect the same politicians who send their own kids off to private schools. He's for God-fearing candidates, each and every one. They tell him they're gonna end abortion, and they're never gonna take away his gun. And they go off to Washington or Tallahassee and play the corporate millionaires game. Send his kids off to war till there's no money anymore, and then they tell him he's the one to blame. He's the last American worker, and they've got him dead in their sights. They're taking away everything that he worked for. Somebody turn out the lights. He's the last American worker, and they've got him dead in their sights. They're taking away everything that he works for. Somebody turn out the lights. They're taking away everything that he works for. Somebody turn out the lights. Okay. You know, right in the middle of that song, my entire screen just changed abruptly, and I had no idea if you people were still here. Hope you still are. Computers are very weird sometimes. I was reading an article on Facebook. I sometimes surf around the articles at night when I have a spare minute or two, and they were talking about electric vehicles in China, and that there's one company that's made an electric vehicle that's so sophisticated that while you're driving it, it can update its own computers over the satellite internet connections that are everywhere in China, apparently. And, you know, I was just sitting here and my screen totally changed in the middle of that song. And this is not unusual with computers. I do a lot of work on computers, mixing audio, editing videos for my lectures at Florida Atlantic University. And computers randomly change stuff, it seems to me. They just do whatever they think they're supposed to do. In fact, particularly since AI has come along, they think they're supposed to anticipate what you might want them to do. And I just can't imagine being in a car that's driving down the road and not feeling that at any moment, especially one that's going to update itself over the internet while you're driving it, that it's at some point it's not going to just suddenly make a left turn and slam into a wall or drive right into somebody else. And yet this seems to be the future. I don't doubt that it's possible to achieve a 99.5% perfection rate in this way, but I sure don't want to be in that 0.5% that is driving down the road and their car suddenly decides to fly off into a river. Well, anyway, just something to think about. Hi, Victoria. Well, we're getting down here to probably one or two songs. Nobody's requested anything, so I'm just going to kind of keep flying blind. I don't have a big agenda. I did have a couple new ones I wanted to play. If you are in South Florida, you may know that Steve Minotti, who's listening tonight, and I and our good friend Scott Avery did a night of Bob Dylan songs in the round a couple of weeks ago, and about 10 days ago, I guess. And we're going to do it again in Hollywood at the Ann Kolb Nature Center in Hollywood on November 23rd, which is a Sunday afternoon. And I believe it's free, so come on out and see us if you get a chance. Scott Avery's here too. Hey, Scott. That was a really fun evening playing with you guys. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm going to switch over to YouTube for a second, see what's going on over there. Alan Bernstein says, I fear that I will never be able to watch the news again. It's sort of true. Oh, you know what? I wanted to sing this song tonight, but we'll do this. My good friend Cliff Eberhardt has been in the hospital recently, and he's doing okay. But Cliff and I were talking one time. I recorded one of Cliff's songs, When We Were Kings, on Rants and Romance, and he told me that this was his favorite of my songs. So that he thought this was a really good song. So Cliff, if you're listening to this sometime, who knows when, this is for you. When you decide to return again to the land that raised you, you find yourself traveling back to your New England home. And you're passing through, you run into somebody I used to know. Tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow. And if you're standing on the pier by the empty harbor, and the fishing boats are lying quiet until the spring, and you need a fire to sit beside while the winter weaves out its cloak, tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow. And if you awaken with her long hair spread across your shoulder, and the day outside is as dark as her eyes, take care to hold her close into the morning, and she will be true to you if you love her more than I. If you're traveling in the woods, I used to walk alone, and you find her out there standing in the fallen leaves, and a chill should pass through the arms that cradle her longing. You know that you can take her hand one more time for me. When you decide to return again to the land that raised you, you find yourself traveling back to your New England home, and you're passing through, you run into somebody I used to know, tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow, tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow. All right. Well, before I do one more song for you, I want to make a couple quick announcements. In case you're foolish enough to want to donate anything to the cause tonight, I think you can do that at paypal.me/donate to Rod. Just one word, donate to Rod. I'd like to mention a couple upcoming things. On October 5, we have a live online version of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival scheduled. It'll be on the GVFF 2025 Facebook page and on YouTube and on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival.org website, I believe, if all goes well. And It's a Phil Oakes song night. Our hosts will be Sonny Oakes and Wanda Fisher from WAMC in Albany, New York. And some of the people in it include Greg Greenway and Pat Wichter and Emma's Revolution, James Gordon, John Flynn. I'm probably forgetting somebody. And I'm going to be in this show myself doing a set. So tune in. That's 7 o'clock, October 5. If you're in Vermont, I'm doing a house concert in Brattleboro on October 17. If you're in the White Plains, New York area at all, come see Mark Dan and I at the Walkabout Clearwater Coffee House on Sunday, October 19 at 3:30 p.m. But you want to get there early because they have kind of a buffet and also like a dessert buffet, I think, and also the Clearwater Choir or the Walkabout Choir has a group sing, and everybody's welcome for that. That starts at 2:30, so you might want to get there early for that. And advance tickets will save you a little bit of money on that one. All these events are on rodmacdonald.com and always have the ticket information. I'm also doing the South Florida Folk Club's annual December concert at the Luna Star Cafe in North Miami. I think that's on December 4 or whatever, December 6 maybe, the first Saturday night of December. I have 4 lectures at Florida Atlantic University's Lifelong Learning Program this fall. 2 of them, one in Jupiter, one in Boca, are on Linda Ronstadt and Emmy Lou Harris. And 2 of them are in Jupiter, one in Boca, are called the Great Protest Songs, which will be a video and performance lecture for about 2 hours of history of some great protest songs through time. All of those are available not directly online, but you can do what's called catch-up. You can sign up for them and see them as a stream after they've been recorded. And also in early December, the 4th and 11th in Boca Raton and Jupiter, my band Big Brass Bed and I, a.k.a. the Humdingers, are doing 2 concerts called Bob Dylan, The First 10 Years. We've done Dylan concerts for FAU a couple times, and it's always just so hard to play all the songs that are meaningful. You know, there's so many of them. So I thought maybe we'll just take a section of time this time, and we'll concentrate on the first 10 years. So we'll probably go 1961 to 1970. And that's with my full band. And again, those are both available live in the auditorium, but also streamed for the recording will be streamed after the fact. Well, I mentioned I also have this really kind of nifty USB flash drive that we put out in the late spring. These are $25 including postage, and $20 if you get one live at a gig. And this has Mark Dan and I in concert in Germany in 2016. Really high quality recording, and also the best videos of me that I think have been made in concert from 2024 from the same club, a place called the Music Star in Germany. And also a selection of songs live from the Speakeasy in 1984, remastered, sounds pretty good, with my old White Buffalo band, John Cruth and Howie Wyeth and Mark Dan. And last but not least, some songs that I recorded in Chicago in solitude in 1981 and 1982 that have otherwise never been released commercially by me. In fact, I don't think they're even on, 8 of them are not even on any of my old archival stuff that you'd have to be on the website to get. So I thought I'd play one of them for you tonight. This was a song that back in the day we used to close all our concerts with. And then, as things happen, the band that was the Rod MacDonald band of the late 1970s broke up, and I moved on and began playing with the group that became the White Buffalo Band, and wrote a whole new bunch of songs. And we stopped playing this one, but I always liked it. I always thought it was an interesting song. I think it's kind of a naive song, if I may be so self-critical. I think it's a kind of a naive song, but it has an interesting provenance. Between 1974, August of 1974, and about May or maybe even September of 1977. So for about 3 full years, I was officially homeless. I did not sleep on the street. I was the recipient of a lot of generosity from people, including Don Shanley, who's watching this show. I stayed upstairs, rented a single room upstairs from the Focus 2 Coffee House intermittently for like a week at a time. Several people took me in, or when they went on holidays, gave me their apartment for a month and said, just stay here. And during that time, I also crisscrossed the country 3 or 4 times, hitchhiking. And when I came across these recordings from the early 80s in Chicago and heard this song again, it reminded me of kind of the life that I lived and the dream that I had during those years. And so I suppose that though I think this song is, like I said, a little bit naive to me now, and that's okay. I once read an interview with Paul Simon where he said he thought all the songs that he recorded before Sound of Silence were naive. Even though I think it's a little bit naive, I also think that it is a real document, in a sense, of the life that I lived for a while. And so it has meaning to me, and I thought I'd sing it for you tonight. Well, let's play the right harmonica at least. And let's play it right side up. It's taking forever to get going here. You ask me if I've been traveling. You ask me when now have I been across the western rivers. I'll tell you what I've seen. Towns left dead beside the highway when it went some different way. Cities choking in exhaust and trains stopped dead in the day. I've seen days so blue no robin's egg could ever seem but pale against the sky. Drunk from a winter waterfall, seen the snow against the line. A woman in the prison of her misery took the time to cure me mine. A child said you're the midnight traveler, sad the leaving behind. Sometimes in the heart of darkness, sometimes in the heat of the night, I want to put 1,000 miles between myself and these aching eyes. Sometimes the rain she sizzles, sometimes the wind she cries. Sometimes I sit beneath the open sky and sing out one more lullaby. Seen the flag trampled in anger, wrapped around the bodies of the dead, used as a shield for soldiers who would not have been there if the truth had been said. Walked a highway in the dead of night, slept with the hobos, called their homes. Heard the jukebox in 100 towns. A man asked where the music had gone. The cowboy buys a whiskey, shoots it down, heads for the doorway, big gun in his hand. In the crying and screaming of seagulls, there's a choir singing across the land. Stood for hours to Thousands stand for hours in a stadium, cheering somebody's broken bones. The winner is the one who ain't torn limb from limb. Somebody whispered, ain't we just like Rome? A gladiator in the locker room, tell you he loves to play the game. One day a hero, the next he's gone. The crowd kept cheering the same. And I stood in the city, rain pouring down, slept by the river in the sun, danced with a woman I barely believed, said goodbye when the dance was done. I'm young and I am old on this checkerboard, searching for a dream that will come true. Hearing the song you're singing and singing it back to you. Sometimes in the heart of darkness, sometimes in the heat of the night, I want to put 1,000 miles between myself and these aching eyes. Sometimes the rain she sizzles, sometimes the wind she cries, sometimes I sit beneath the open sky and sing out one more, sing out one more, sing out one more lullaby. Hey, well, that was really fun. I have to stop. It's getting kind of late. I got my daughter still has to go to school in the morning and get up at 6:30. So I'm going to sign off for tonight. Thank you all so very much for listening and watching. And don't forget October 5, the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. You can find my schedule regularly at rodmacdonald.com. And I'll probably do this again in another month or so. I enjoy it, and it's good for me to sing my own songs for you guys. So thanks for being here and making that possible. And I'm going to say goodnight with that.